It looks like this stream was deleted on Facebook. Try creating a new stream or just remove this destination. Yeah.
What happened there?
I don't know. Can you just try to go live? What will it do? Well, bummer. Okay. Oh, can you go back and add it? Oh, voila.
Getting closer. Doing better. Okay, let's do this thing.
You're live?
Oil ready? Yeah, we're
All right.
Hi, guys.
Sorry for the tad delay. We were having trouble going live
Always some technical
on Facebook, but it looks like we're live across all the platforms. So thank you guys for being patient. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, for us at least. Yeah, happy Monday. Hope everybody had a wonderful Easter weekend if you celebrate. And then we had Passover too last week. So it was a lot going on.
Biddy.
Yeah.
Good times.
Okay, I'm excited about this topic today.
So am
I'm
I.
excited about all of them, but
I learned something new on this one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, that's
Always
the
be
goal, right? For not only are we just educating you, but a lot of times when we prepare these trainings, there's always stuff that we learn as well in the process, which is great, always and forever learning. Okay, let's before we start, actually, make sure you like and subscribe. Yeah, it helps us help you. Leave us comments. Your feedback is very helpful. And if you have questions on the topic today, as you know, if you've been here before, you put them into the comments and we'll do our best to address the questions pertaining to the topic. If you have other questions, just make sure you reach out via email.
Perfect.
All right. So have you ever felt like, and I think this is a lot of people, like you're doing everything right. You're taking your supplements, you're eating better, you're moving your body, but you're still not getting the results that you have expected.
Yes, 100%.
And I think that's extremely common because there's such a fine tuning of things that you need to do to take care of yourself. But that's actually what we're going to talk about today is things that we're deficient in that prevent all of these wonderful, healthy things that we're doing, prevents them from actually happening.
Yep.
Because we're deficient in something. So, that there's a reason for all that, and that usually comes down to minerals, and it comes down to being deficient in minerals, which is more common than you think. And I would almost want to say almost all of us are deficient in minerals in some way, shape, or form. So today we're going to talk about one of the most overlooked root causes in health, and it is mineral deficiency. Because without the right mineral balance, the body it just cannot function the way it's supposed to, or designed to, right? No matter what you give it, you have to have significant minerals. You have to be optimizing your minerals.
And they're essential. You need to get, well, not all of them, but the body doesn't make them, so you have to consume them. So it's really just like your dietary requirements, right?
Yep. And we'll go into that too. As you think, we just said dietary, we're not getting it from our food. And we'll dig into that in a little bit. So let's just talk about minerals.
Yeah.
Just in a nutshell. They're the foundation of the body. They're not just nutrients. I don't want you to just think of them as nutrients. They actually are what allows the body to function at a cellular level. And that's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
So it actually is pretty heavy when you think of it like that. I mean, every heartbeat, every nerve signal, every muscle contraction, every thought that we have depends on minerals.
Yep.
I mean, everything we do is dependent on minerals, which is something that we are deficient in. So we're doing all these things that we think are right, but things aren't happening because we're deficient in our minerals.
Yeah, major cofactor.
Yes. And like your body runs on electrical signals every second of every day we're running, and minerals are what make that possible.
Charged. Correct.
Right? I mean, examples, right? We obviously have magnesium,
primary example.
right? Which is, really helps the relaxation. But you also have calcium.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Helps with contraction. This has a lot to do with your muscles.
Yeah. Potassium.
Your heart's a muscle. Don't forget that, guys.
Of course.
So if you don't have enough magnesium, basically your body gets stuck in this state of tension. physically and neurologically. I don't want you to just think of like this tension as like necessary stress, or tension as like you feel you get cramps. Those are signs of magnesium deficiency, but it goes so much more in depth and beyond that. And then what happened there? Okay. And this is why everybody basically is deficient today. And I'm going to run through several things that we may not be considering. And this is not random at all, right? This is our modern life. This is how we live, unfortunately. But stress, and I know we do talk about that a lot, stress depletes magnesium significantly. We are all running and operating under this high stress load. Even if we're trying to work on it, which is a wonderful thing, you have to work on it, but most of us have a great deal of stress. Stress, what does it do? It increases cortisol. Cortisol causes the body to burn through magnesium. So you're stressed, and it's just using up any of those stores that you have. Therefore, you become deficient. The more stressed you are, obviously, the more minerals you lose, right?
Yeah. It's crazy too, because like you said, when the body runs on a low end or depleted, what's it going to do? It's going to prioritize the need, right?
The immediate need.
The immediate
Right,
need. So
yeah.
it'll suck magnesium or any other minerals out of bone, out of muscle, kind of like what it does when amino acids aren't there, or like it'll break down the muscle, free up what it needs. So in this case, it'll break down bone, break down muscle, get the magnesium into the serum or into the blood so that it can be used in other places. Because most magnesium, as an example, is not stored in the blood. It's stored mostly in your bone, your muscles, your periphery.
I'm
Your
glad you said
organs.
that, which is also why when you go get your blood work, and if they test for magnesium, it's very hard to just judge it based on that, because most of your body's magnesium stores, it's not circulating in your blood. So it's not the best way. Testing, is harder, right? Like a muscle biopsy, like, are we all going to do that? Not necessarily, but
It depends on the mineral too, from a testing perspective. Like there's a very easy test for calcium as an example, but there's
right.
not as much of an easy test for the magnesium.
Right. And this is also where I talk about, getting a micronutrient test, which I actually just did my, I don't even want to say it's blood draw, because it's blood, it's urine, and it's saliva. So all of these compromise the micronutrient tests that I just did. So my results will be coming. I think I meet with my doctor in like a month, but
We should put those on blast, like put them on.
yeah, sure.
Thing on.
We do a
the
whole
review of
training on
your-
that.
Yeah,
100%.
good to see.
Okay, so we talked about stress, then we
Yeah.
hear blood sugar imbalances, and we know how many people in this world today are dealing with insulin resistance,
Oh yeah.
diabetes, pre-diabetes.
75% of people, Jen. Well, no, that's not that high on the diabetic scale. That's overweight and obesity.
But it's still
It's like 50%.
extremely
That's a high
high.
number.
And also just people that run with these blood sugar imbalances, like these yo-yos,
Yeah.
and our children, right? This is so much higher. I mean, when you read the statistics about how many kids are walking around,
Childhood obesity and all that.
well, walking around too with pre-diabetes,
Yeah.
on their way. I mean, it's scary, and sad. But so this, our elevated insulin increases the loss of magnesium, sodium, potassium. Oh, you know what I don't have
Yeah.
here?
What are you looking for? Right.
I forgot it. I made
There
it
you go.
clear here.
There you go.
So I was just saying it.
Boom.
Sodium, potassium, magnesium, that is what is in our hydration amplifier. So major important one. But again, you're having these insulin resistance, you're just becoming even more depleted. This is why so many people feel tired, even when you're eating, as you think balanced, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, that's kind of self-explanatory. And then low stomach acid means you're having poor absorption of these minerals. And I want to, like, you can help me with this, because I know
Yeah.
your brain is a lot stronger on this side, but so many people are taking PPI, right? These proton
Right.
pump inhibitors, because we're having maybe like acid reflux. Acid reflux, a lot of times, is not due to high stomach acid. There's a lot of times, many times, it's actually due to low stomach acid. And then you're taking a PPI and you're even lowering that stomach acid. And we're not absorbing our minerals. We're just not absorbing them. So, I mean, did I say that right? Anything?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. The proton pump inhibitor
I
is
feel like
exactly
so many
that.
people are on
They
them.
call it the proton pump inhibitor. It inhibits the hydrogen ion pump, so it's not making acid. That's a big drawback with these drugs. Yeah, and then it inadvertently raises the pH, right? Where you're normally a very acidic stomach of around 2, you probably go up a few points, and then things like iron just cannot absorb. Like that's why they say take iron with food is so that you can increase the acid production, so therefore you get more acid to reduce the form of iron. So it's just not happening as an
Right.
example, right? And
Right.
that's just one of many examples of way things just won't get absorbed properly when you disrupt the environment, the stomach environment.
Yeah.
It's very true. And look, that's one drug. What did you say the other first two were? You said so stress, and what was the second? Blood sugar. So
Yeah.
in all of those though, there's going to be deficiencies, drug induced nutrient deficiencies on the
Oh,
stress
sure.
side. On the stress side, you'll get some nutrient deficiencies from the drugs used to treat stress and anxiety, like the general well, the benzodiazepines, which are like your Xanax and Valium, and then
Mm-hmm.
you have the other class of drugs. It's SSRIs,
Mm-hmm.
and those can deplete the body of certain minerals.
Right.
And so, and then the second one was on blood sugar, diet, and so anti-diabetic drugs. There's plenty of them on the market, but most of them they all have some drug-induced nutrient depletion associated with it.
Right. So
And then
think
we were
about how
just
many people,
talking about stomach acid, and is there a heart health one? Because guess what, the heart health stuff will certainly the
you mean the
drugs
heart health
used.
medications?
Yeah, the
Okay.
drugs used for heart. So drugs will deplete the body of minerals almost like right away, like first. Like it's kind of crazy. It's almost always a big mineral that just gets flushed
Right.
out.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. So from the stress, the blood sugar, the low stomach acid, and then the drug-induced nutrient depletion.
Yep.
Major big ones. And I haven't even gotten to the one that's like this, that is the most common that most people know of, is our modern food and water supply.
Yeah.
Our soil is not what it used to be. And you might hear this and roll your eyes, but it's true. We are not getting, like, we rely on eating the food that is grown in the soil to get our minerals, right? Our vitamins and minerals. And if the soil itself is depleted of these vitamins and minerals, the plant compounds that we're eating are not going to have that. Or I could even say, like, the meat that we eat that is eating the plants from the soil, same thing, right? It's the things are just not as nutrient dense. And then another one, I think it's wonderful if everybody's using RO filters to drink better water, cleaner water. But if you are not having a remineralization to that water, then your RO system is just removing all of those minerals from your water, because it can't remove just only the bad stuff. It's going to pull it all out. It's really going to filter and clean your water. So if you do use an RO system, I highly encourage you to get a remineralization, which I know our under the sink one, you could buy the package, right? It's like we have the RO and then the remineralization.
Well, you have to buy the RO kit that has
Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
the last stage of it will be remineralization.
Right. So it's just another reason why, right? Because we're having to drink this filtered water, and it lacks minerals. So all of these things, guys, this is why we are deficient.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you didn't even not there's others.
Sure.
Exercise.
Yeah.
Consuming large amounts of caffeine,
alcohol. Mm-hmm.
You already talked about stress and anxiety.
Right.
Yeah, and it's crazy. There's so many things, so many contributing factors. And it's always like, I hate it, but it's always the minerals that kind of get knocked out first. I mean, it's always, you see magnesium, potassium,
right,
sodium.
And they're really not talked about. This stuff is not talked about. Your doctor's not telling you, here, I'm going to put you on this medication. Make sure you get your minerals from supplementation, because this is going to wipe you out even more. Nobody talks about this, right? So it's very important.
You did talk about like people like seeing signs of it though, like cramping and stuff like that. Well, that like the reason why, and I don't know if it's off topic or not, but the hydration amplifier, when you look at the balance and the amount, the way we designed it, specific to the proton or to the pump mechanism between the sodium and the potassium. So it's like an exchange cycle. It creates electrical gradient. That's how electrical nerve conduction happens and muscle contractions occur. So
right,
it's unfortunate when people get out of balance and out of whack.
Definitely.
Because it's an easy fix.
Yep. And someone was just asking about RDAs for recommended daily allowance for certain these minerals. You have to remember too, we say this over and over again, what an RDA is designed for. It's designed to for the malnourished, right? It's designed
to prevent disease.
Right. So like a very sick population, the bare minimum, what you need to take bare minimum to prevent disease. That is not talking about what you need to take to thrive.
Right.
That is not incorporating the medications you might be on, the stress you may be undergoing, the extra alcohol you might be drinking, on the positive side, the extra exercise you're doing, even though
Right.
exercise is a wonderful thing, it's still depleting your body of nutrients. That's all, nutrients, minerals. That's also why when we talk about like the heavy sweat load and everything about like hydration amplifier, and even those that are sweating a lot, you can benefit from taking, more than one a day. But again, to, each body's different, and an RDA is not taking that into account. It's there just to prevent
And some of the
disease.
RDAs are closer to optimum than say other RDAs, right? Some RDAs seem to be like very like egregiously in the wrong direction, very low,
Hmm.
like some like
Hmm.
strike me as that. Whereas others, like you can kind of be like, all right, well, this one's sort of closer to where you would want to be either anyway, even if you're supplementing, right? Like zinc is one, or some of the
Right.
trace minerals because they're so small amounts and they're very important minerals, but they're trace. They call trace just because they require small amounts in the body. But there's typically a smaller gap is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so what do I have here? I think we talked about this. Minerals drive energy. They're required for enzyme function. Enzymes drive every reaction in the body. So you hear us talk about a lot about magnesium, and
Yeah.
magnesium is involved in over 300 chemical reactions in the body. And if you're not sufficient in magnesium, or if you're deficient in magnesium, those reactions are not going to take place. So again, you think you're doing everything right, but if you're deficient in minerals, these things can't happen.
Well, might prioritize it. And we don't know what that order looks like in the
Right,
body, but yeah.
right. Yeah, so, there's nothing, there's nothing sexy about minerals. So they're not often like talked about and pushed on, but you've got to be doing the foundational stuff before you could ever get anywhere into, everybody goes for the next fancy thing, but you've got to have your foundation. You have to have it. It's got to be strong and solid. And this could be a very important reason of like why certain supplements you're taking might not be working if you're deficient in minerals. So example, vitamin D needs magnesium,
Hmm.
right? Vitamin D needs magnesium to activate. So if you're taking vitamin D but you're deficient in magnesium, your vitamin D can't do everything it's intended to do, right? So I just had a question on that. Someone was asking like they've been taking vitamin D and their vitamin D levels went down.
Huh.
But you got to look deeper, right? You got to dig for the root causes. By B vitamins, right? We need these for our energy, but without minerals, they can't convert, right? So we need it. Protein needs minerals for metabolism. I mean, there's just so many things. So we can be doing all the right stuff, taking all the supplements, but forgetting about our minerals. Very important. Um, okay. So other things that you can experience with mineral deficiency, poor sleep, waking up tired. I mean, these are common for a lot of us. I do know. We talked about anxiety, feeling
Yeah.
wired but tired.
Right.
Muscle tightness or cramps. Talked about headaches. I did
Yeah.
not mention headaches. Headaches are a big one. Low
Right.
energy, constipation, heart
Right.
palpitations. All of these are big signs of mineral deficiency. And sometimes you may not be having these like red flags, these warning signs, but your supplements aren't working properly for you because again, you're deficient in minerals. So, what do we have here? Let's talk about our live good stuff.
And that's the thing, though. A lot of time, I mean, I think a lot of people assume, and they're correct, but a lot of times there's a mineral complex in a multivitamin.
Mhm.
Some minerals are included in it because typically they're very inexpensive, they're easy to include. But if you're not discerning enough between the types of minerals, you need to select them carefully. You want to typically choose one because remember, they're charged ions, right? So you want to make sure they're paired to the right salt or the right ester. We'll talk about that with magnesium, but you'll typically see them as like a salt complex. So magnesium glycinate is
Mhm.
the one that we like the best for magnesium. But that's the important thing. There's different forms of calcium. Depends on what your goal is. And actually, it's funny with calcium. There's a certain form of calcium that absorbs better for people that don't have the proper amount of acidic nature in their stomach, right?
Mm.
So depending, right? So it depends on their age, their goal, what they're trying to accomplish. But for bone health, yeah. So some absorb better than others. So you got to be careful. You got to know the differences.
Right, definitely. And you brought up magnesium, so we'll just talk about that first.
Yeah.
Obviously, like major things supporting sleep, relaxation, nervous system balance. It helps shift the body out of stress mode and into recovery mode, which is very, very important. Um, but just mention, we don't have it in our multivitamin because typically, well, there's another reason, but a lot of times if you see it in a multivitamin, the dose is low.
Yeah.
Like, because you can't cram everything into a multivitamin and expect to take like two capsules a day, right? If you crammed it all in, you'd be taking a lot more capsules a
Sure.
day, but also there's interactions of certain things. So you also pulled
Yeah.
calcium out,
Yeah.
magnesium out. Why?
Yeah, because they can bind to other things, like that you typically want to leave out of a multi. So that's one of the reasons they can compete for absorption sites. So your bioavailability theoretically goes down, but you also want control over timing of your dose. So
Yeah,
it's not always
definitely.
possible when you're trying to time a multivitamin that has B vitamins before with your first meal of your day, whereas you want to use magnesium before bedtime.
Right. Right.
Just things like that.
It should be dosed
Totally
independently
should
to
be
be dosed
independent.
correctly.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about our magnesium, and then we have our multivitamins. So our bioactive complete multivitamins, and of course our children's, because everything that we teach and educate on, guys, it goes for kids too. We can't just forget, like they're eating the food too
Mm-hmm.
that lacks nutrients, and
Mm-hmm.
they're so much less intentional about what they eat because they're so picky, or at least ours are. So it's hard. So you have to make sure that they're getting the minerals. Provides essential minerals, essential vitamins and trace minerals.
Yep.
You need these to fill nutrient gaps. You need them.
Yeah, actually, you won't see too many trace minerals in the multi, but you will see things like zinc, in there. And but we did leave calcium out again. That was another one intentionally left out of the
Yeah.
multivitamin.
I can pull that
But
over here.
there's
But our calcium's also in our Osteo Complete.
that's why we did
right?
it that way.
I just keep forgetting about certain ones that I'm pulling out now.
Exactly.
Okay, hydration amplifier. We talked about that. Your major electrolytes, your sodium, potassium, magnesium. Very important. Hydration is not just water. You can't hydrate your body properly with just water alone. You need to have the minerals. Extremely important there. Anything else to add to the hydration amplifier? And forms are important
Forms are
also,
very
right?
important.
So there's
Forms are very,
so
very
many
important.
different
That's what I was trying to say.
hydration sticks, if you want to call them, because ours are in sticks, but most commonly you see them in stick packs. I see them all the time when I go to the gym. I see these people dumping them in, and of course I look over and I'm eyeing what they're taking. But you just know that the form, it really matters. So when you have magnesium, like it's our magnesium glycinate, it's the sodium from Himalayan salt. These are important things, like very important. So it's intentional. Everything we do is intentional. And then we have our shilajit and sea moss, right? So rich in minerals, but you have your shilajit in general, contains your fulvic acid,
The
plus
fulvic humic complex, yeah.
plus 80 plus trace minerals, right?
Yep.
This is amazing.
Amazing.
So it helps support our nutrient absorption and mitochondrial function. Good stuff. And then the sea moss, rich in iodine and trace minerals. Helps support thyroid and again, metabolism. Like these things are very important. And that's why we're really, I was so excited when we brought this one out, because it's the knowing how deficient our bodies are in minerals is so important.
And another reason why it sells so well, because I do think people recognize that, and it's a lot of trace minerals, which you don't typically find elsewhere.
Right.
So that's a good mix. It's a really good product. The shilajit, the sea moss.
Yeah. And just because I just touched on thyroid too, your thyroid depends on minerals to function properly.
Mm-hmm.
So think about how many people out there having thyroid issues.
Oh, yeah.
Just think about that. Think about that.
Oh, yeah.
And if it's as simple as minerals,
Exactly.
they're easy. They're easy and they should be done. So, a simple daily schedule, right? We do recommend taking shilajit and sea moss first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. It just works great that way. Can provide some energy for your day. Hydration amplifier. It's great to have in a big glass of water first thing in the morning because you're coming from a dehydrated state.
Yep.
You're sleeping. So it's great to rehydrate the body that way. Or make it in the morning and take a longer time and sip it throughout the day during your workout, whatever, just making sure you get it in. With breakfast, multivitamin, right? Because there are some fat-soluble vitamins in there, so it's best absorbed when you eat it with food. And also sometimes multivitamins can make you a little queasy if you're taking them on an empty stomach. And then your magnesium, we said wonderful at night before bed or later afternoon, somewhere that helps that body start that relaxation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really like you don't constantly keep needing to keep searching for the next best thing when it comes to supplements. This magic thing that people are advertising. you need the right foundation.
Fundamentals.
We talk
That's
about
right.
foundation all
All
the
the time.
time, and don't skip over the boring stuff and
Right.
go for the
The
shiny
shiny
object,
objects, yep.
because the shiny object's not going to do anything for you if you don't have the
Drain your wallet
foundation,
pretty quick. Yeah.
and it'll drain your wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're trying to help you with all that.
Absolutely.
So if you feel like you've been doing all the right things, but your body still isn't responding the way it should, don't look for more. Look at the foundation. Look at what you are doing every day on a routine basis. Um, did you notice any coming in?
No, I'm looking now. Hey, what's up, Eric? We've got.
I kept trying to. Oh, I did see someone say that they actually helped. They fixed their vitamin D deficiency by taking magnesium. So they had enough vitamin D, but their magnesium was insufficient. So, yeah. Mm. I mean, it's great stuff. You know, when you notice real results, and a lot of times, you know, it's either it's on paper too, if you like do the testing for it, but also just little things that you feel. It's a wonderful thing, and it's just going to keep you doing more and doing more. What was that?
A lot of great comments. Hi,
Yeah.
everybody. Thank you for typing in.
Yeah, awesome stuff. All right. Oh, I don't think doctors. Oh, I'm sorry if
I
you're in
think
trouble hearing
it's
Ryan.
just too
It's
far
on.
away trying to be in the frame for the Instagram.
All right, so just remember, guys, when you restore minerals, you restore how the body functions, and that's when everything starts to work properly, right? So don't skimp on your foundation, and we make it very easy and clear. Fix the foundation, and the body will do what it's designed to do,
That's right. I agree.
right? Can't see your face.
Oh, sorry.
All right,
All
guys,
right.
thank you so much for joining. Any further questions, make sure you email us. And as always, tune in Mondays. And you can also find the recordings to every single training that we do on our YouTube channel. Please watch them, share them, and yes, spread the love through education.
Awesome.
Have a
Guys.
great day.
Take care. See you soon.
Bye.